Join us and help us continue to support the many talented people of our community. Learn how to get your business highlighted on La Crosse Local. Go to lacrosselocal.com and click on Advertise. Prevention is the key to a healthy life. That's why Gunderson Health encourages you to learn about vaccines and how they can help you and your loved ones stay healthy. Vaccines protect against preventable diseases and viruses by boosting your body's defenses. Visit GundersonHealthVax.com to learn more. We talked with Billy Bronsted about his Rhythm, Racket, and Romance album. We got into early musical influences, genre labels, the band, recording and writing, and what to expect at Alpine Inn's Granddadget-Down happening Saturday, June 3rd. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, weekend picks, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
Sunday morning's coming quick enough. You don't have to look so rough. Just season up now and clean house. Be an old fool.
My name is Billy Bronsted. I was technically born in Rhinelander, Wisconsin, but I was raised in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Music was brought to me by my family. My family were avid music lovers. And my brother, I grew up with my older brother, James, playing a lot of heavy metal guitar around me when I was a kid.
I've been listening to your album here, Rhythm, Racket, and Romance over the past day or two. I like to throw in my own personal experience of seeing what I hear. Hearing what I hear in terms of influences. Can I give you a couple examples from your songs, and then you could say if it's BS or if you think it has some similar vibes?
Yeah, throw it out there.
All right. So, listen to that newest album. I hear some things because, when thinking about your music, I know you list yourself as progressive Americana. You kind of see some alternative country. So Let's Fall in Love. I'm starting to hear stuff like The Refreshments, kind of the Americana, Uncle Tupelo sort of stuff. I hear Lyle Lovett vibes on Honey, Where You Gone? Same thing with Life Ain't Pretty. Intro to Ease the Pain to me was kind of like some Paul Simon sort of vibes going on. And also, Let's Fall in Love, John Prine, Family Gold, kind of even Springsteen-ish. So I'm just kind of wondering, what are some of your early influences of music, or did any of those touch any of that?
I know that you definitely hit it with John Prine. He was most certainly, when I started writing songs, I think I had really connected to a lot of Prine's work, and Let's Fall in Love was certainly, in that period of time.
Let's fall in love, move to Ohio. Let's get high and spend the night until you're right. Let's build a home somewhere outside of Jerome. Yeah, let's fall in love. Let's fall in love.
But in terms of early influences, I know that my first favorite album was The Kinks' Greatest Hits. My parents they either gave it to me or I found it in their collection. And then really, it's pretty expansive. It's hard for me to zero in on exactly what. I know that when I was getting into, like I told you in the beginning of the interview, my brother played a lot of heavy metal guitar when I was a baby and a kid. And then when my uncle moved in with us when I was a teenager, he turned me on to a lot of blues music and surf rock and all kinds of stuff like that. So when we were backing him up in our little band when I was young, we would play Dick Dale tunes, Southern Culture on the Skids songs and stuff like that. And so in terms of songwriting and that, the kind of more aimed towards the way you asked the question, that's ever shifting. I was listening to a lot of alt country when Rhythm, Racket, and Romance was written. So there's a lot of that influence in there.
You kind of put yourself down, I guess, on the website, you put down as progressive Americana. So, I mean, it just seems the different genres and stuff like this is ever changing, and kind of like your own influences from, the heavy metal thing to the alternative sort of country. Do you feel like you fit into a genre related to that? Because I instantly immediately heard, you're like a country band to me. But then also there's just
Yeah.
also all these other different influences that just pull.
Yeah. So that comes from an ever shifting, well, art is ever shifting and the music is changes a lot. And so the reason the label Progressive Americana is on the website is because that's what you're going to get when you come to a live show that is Billy Bronsted and the Lute. We're a three-piece band, and that's kind of what we deliver. When we made Rhythm Racket and Romance, that album had a lot of country influence, and that was essentially, an alt country record. But we don't have a pedal steel player, and we don't have, and I could play the Telecaster, and we do bop into that style live, but we can only get so expansive unless we have guests that day. So the reason the label of Progressive Americana is there is just sort of because we're a melting pot of those styles, and it is progressive. And I pull out an open tuning guitar with finger picks, and then I pull out the Telecaster, and then I'm strumming on a regular standard tuning guitar, all in the same set of an hour of music. So it's really hard to say. For a while, I did identify, with the country style, but it didn't cover enough ground. So that's why that label is there, is just to say, like, essentially this is broad.
It seems like it has a through line, but it's just like these unique twists here and there, just like the reference to so many influences that I could hear, not necessarily influences, but things that pull for me. So the band, talking about the three piece, how did you guys all come together?
Yeah. So, our drummer, John, and I grew up in the same community in Tomahawk, and we have been in quite a few different iterations of bands over the years. We used to have a band called One Strong Army. John played guitar with me in that band, and the original bass player and drummer of Feed the Dog, David and Eric, they were our rhythm section. As that band was sort of taking off, John and I started playing. I actually started playing banjo for a while, and he played acoustic guitar with me, and that was Linus and the Lute. And if you're on Spotify, you'll see there's that Linus and the Lute EP on there. And that was that period of time in between the two. And I had made a solo record around that time too. And that's what started the Billy Bronsted name and brand, I guess. It's just my name, but that's when we started operating under that.
For the, most recent album, what was the process like for recording and writing? Was that something that's quick for you, or is that something that was kind of a long time coming?
That record took a few years. It was written slowly on the road. A lot of the songs even came out spontaneously at little bar gigs and things like that too. There was a lot of, it was sort of conceived as a duo. John and I used to play as a duo a lot, but then we started inviting people to play with us. And so it sort of transformed the music, and I started pulling them into the studio and saying, we got to get this down. I love what you're doing on this song or that. And so it's kind of just a bunch. There's a lot of time on that record that had passed. And so a lot of different versions of things existed during that time. And then that is just ultimately the way that record sounds. But even some of those songs sometimes now even sound way entirely different when we perform them, in the latest version. So
is there favorites off that album that are go-tos for your live shows?
Yeah, we do. We always do. I shouldn't say always, but very often we play Round This Way, which is the first track. And then Honey, Where You Gone, we do this like thing where it's actually blended with a song off my first solo album called Where You Go. We usually do them back to back. Ease the Pain. We typically do Ease the Pain.
Are you playing a lot of newer music, or what's coming up for you? Do you have like a release of I know that was just released in 2022, but like you said, it seemed like it was a long time coming. Do you have new music on the way?
Yeah, there's lots of it actually. I've got some stuff kind of in the vault from over the years, and then I've got tons of new songs that we've been trying out, a few here and there live and all that. I was going to release more music last year, but I sustained a vocal injury that kind of knocked me out for a while. So we're kind of getting back on the horse this year, and things are looking pretty good. So I'm hoping by the end of the year that we have another release out.
So you're playing the Alpine Inn in La Crosse, Wisconsin on June 3rd during the Alpine Inn's Granddad-get-down. So
Yeah.
you kind of reference some of your shows, will you have guests, or you got the 3-piece, or what can people expect from your show on June 3rd?
They can expect that I'll be there. They can expect that the boys will be there with me, John and Darian, and that we're going to do some of that. And then, and you never know if some of the folks on the bill, we get to talking that day and, hey, you want to come do this one? You want to come do that one? I see, I know Bryce is there, and our friends, the Spine Stealers, are there, and Joe Huber's there. I'd have to look at the lineup. I know
Hemlock Chaser.
Yeah. Hemlock Chaser's there. Mm-hmm. So, you never know. They just might. Someone might. I have a feeling someone's going to get up there with us. Mm-hmm.
So you've also has connections to Dig Deep too, right? They're playing up at the Alpine soon here in a little bit. So I was kind of wondering what you guys put a song together on that album as well, right?
Yeah, Cockroach. Yeah.
Now I live above the bar, yeah, I ain't too far. Bloody Mary and around the Dodge. Throwing them back, drinking and drinking. Then I stumble up the stairs, get into my position. I'm a lie on my back, just like a cockroach. Where all these troubles I know, well, it feels good to let them go.
Those are my homies, man. Really good dudes. Bob, the mandolin player in that band, when I was a very young man, budding musician, he gave me a room to crash at in his house in Rhinelander, and that's kind of the origin story of my Wisconsin music career. And then since then, a lot of things have happened, and Dig Deep, the Ditch Runners happened, and then Dig Deep became Dig Deep, and it really just, man, we kick around the same paths a lot, and I really love those dudes. They're really kind, welcoming, friendly guys, and yeah, they let me play with them sometimes, and it's super fun.
What are you listening to right now? Is there an album that's on repeat for you?
Actually, right now, I haven't been doing a ton of listening. If I've been studying more guitar lately, so I've been listening to like fiddle tunes and things like that, trying to expand my acoustic guitar playing a little bit. So I haven't been listening to songs lately as well. I haven't been listening to a record specifically a lot lately. So that's a hard one to say, what's in the forefront of my mind.
I mean, just checking out the album these last couple of days, I'm going to come check out the whole day, Day of Music, the Alpine Inn's Granddad-get-down. For people who want to kind of invest in you a little bit more before that show, where should they go? Are you active on all the social medias and all that jazz, or?
Yeah. Billy Bronsted, everywhere you can. I'm pretty unique name, I guess, so it's not hard. You don't have to dig too far. If you spell it right, STED, and BillyBronsted.com, Instagram, Billy Bronsted in the Loot on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, but I rarely post on Twitter. I just haven't figured Twitter out. But maybe if you follow me, you'll catch that one.
Sweet.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.